Okay, this is where it gets a lot more fun. As you can see, we've already started the assembly. So, exhaust is on, inlet manifold is on, the coil is in place. What else have we got on? Got the battery sitting in there, which is good. We've got the fire extinguisher just sitting there for the moment. And we're going to focus the rest of the time really on the engine bay first. So the next thing that's going in is the oil tank. Oil tank goes in this section here. So that's the next big job. I think we have every single part we need except for one thing, which is a barb that goes on the fuel cell. And by the way, the fuel cell is back. I think I showed that to you already. So that is here, but there's a barb that goes onto this guy. Although, now that I say that, oh, you know what? It is here. So we don't need that. Okay. Well, looks like we really do have everything we need as far as I can tell. So, let's see how we get on. Okay, couple of updates. Let's have a look. We're making some good progress. So, oil tank is in, all hooked up as well. We have our 3D printed oil expansion tank sitting in there just for a feel for its situation. Here's the actual expansion tank. We've got the water piping all hooked up. We've got to adjust some stuff around here. We've got the kill switch wired up. What else have we got to show you here? Let's come around this side. Fuel line is in. Fuel line is just sitting there right now up onto the carb, so we got to work on that a little bit. And now we are beginning to look at putting the firewall back in. So we got to go a little bit slow on that because the fuel cell is going to drop in here as well. So we're going to make sure everything is right before we do that, but that is where we are headed next. So the firewall is in. We've got it just sitting here with the rivets in. So you are here for the fun part. So let's start banging in a couple of rivets. Let's see what happens. Okay. We are going to rest all of these here. So that's our first one in. Let's do one down here. I think most of these will go in okay. Okay. Two done. I'm never really sure exactly which rivets to use here and what the difference is between all of them, but I'm going to do something else. We're going to put a clamp on just to make sure everything is nice and tight. So once this is in, once the firewall is in, we can, there we go, we can move to the fuel cell, which is a pretty big step in the process. I feel like we're actually making some progress, which is good for a change. Okay, one tip. These guys here are pretty sharp when they break off. Do not let them fall on the ground. They will show up in one of your tires at some point, generally on your road car, as you head out for work one morning when you're late. Ask me how I know. Okay, firewall is back in. Bingo. Let's double check. There we go. So let's make sure to clear all of these out. And as I said, make sure they go into your trash or your rubbish and don't end up in your driveway. Very costly mistake, unfortunately, that I'm familiar with. Okay, next step. Remember this guy? That's our fuel cell. Let's open it up and sit it in there and get a feel for it. Okay, it's kind of hard to read, but that's our new certification. Just going to drop this in here for a sec just to get a feel for what it looks like. So, not looking too bad. So there's a couple of things we're going to need to do with this. So if you think about the way it works, fuel in the top, so we need a fuel spout, which we have somewhere for it. Down at the back here is where the fuel comes out and runs to the engine. I might be able to push this hose right through right now, maybe not. Let me see if you can see it. So that hose has to be connected. Not a big deal. And then the other thing is, once it's all securely in place in the right place, then we have kind of a cover that goes over it, and then the seat and everything else goes over the top of that, and it attaches to the upper firewall that we haven't put in place yet. So all that has to go together. Just want to do it very carefully and very slowly. We don't want any issues with fuel spewing anywhere. That would, that could cause some problems. Okay, more progress. This looks pretty messy, I know, and maybe doesn't look like it's changed much, but it has. Side panels. Look at those bad boys. They are fully riveted in. We had to cut some stuff out because of the new bars, so that is all in. We've got the fuel cell in there and actually plumbed in all the way up to the carb, which is great. So a couple more things. We've got to put the remainder of the firewall in and belts and such, but we're getting pretty close. The plan is to try and fire up the car today.